tables, ladders, chairs. Yeah!
Oh my.
And in case y'all did not notice, that was my terrible rendition of the whole promo they've been playing for this pay-per-view because it's so horrible for me to impersonate that. But anyways, in case y'all don't know, it is TLC. Oh no, nope. Calm down. It means tables, ladders, and chairs, not tender loving care. But anyways, this is going to be quite the long-ass pay-per-view, but before I get into that, my co-host...
Oh, that's me. I'm Ryan.
The equally as handsome as me.
And the equally skilled in predictions, because in the last episode of whatever the last pay-per-view was, that we did, I should say.
I think
which I believe was Survivor Series.
Yeah,
I came up on top yet again, and I believe the score is now 9 points for Charles, 8 points for Ryan.
So he is getting close to actually tying up with me. But close is...
And I feel like this is at TLC, I will tie up from the year.
Tie up for the year. Well, we'll just see about that, buddy, because I'm at least 1 point more skilled at predictions. Oh,
fuck you. Fucking Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns at Backlash.
Dude, that's like... Dude, do you think that's like the only thing that actually scoots you over with this whole show?
Yes.
I guess it was the start of my lead, so I would say so, yeah.
And we tied pretty much every other pay-per-view after that. Anyways, there's a total of 12 matches scheduled for right now, and none rumored to be on the pre-show right now, even though 2 or 3 of them are going to be on the pre-show.
I would say at least 2 it will be in the pre-show. We might have...
My prediction for that is mixed match and cruiserweight.
I would have to say, well, the cruiserweights haven't as of recently been in the main show itself, so maybe...
I guess Mustafa Ali was last night, so yeah.
Well, I think the only
Anyways,
one,
enough of that. As usual, we have our trusty source of Wikipedia. Wikipedia, the source you can always trust.
Remember, if you need to do research papers, and if there's like, don't even care if there's like an article, you know, of Darth Vader, you know, was the one that defeated the Germans in World War II, because Wikipedia is reliable, so write that on your research
Charles,
papers.
No.
What?
Anyways.
Let's see who got that reference right there.
Fuck off. Anyways, we'll start off with the Mixed Match Challenge Finals. I'm hoping you watched it last night.
I have watched it before. Like when I was on my way back from Christmas shopping, I was in the car and I was watching it real quick, so I could hopefully get it done.
So I didn't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah. So I
against the Fabulous Truth versus Mahalisha. And before we do anything, what the fuck? These were the worst 2 teams in round robin, and they're in the finals.
These 2 teams were doing these were some of the 2 absolute worst doing teams. Like, they were not winning anything in the beginning of the season, and now all of a sudden they're in the finals.
They won 1 match, the whole thing.
And remember, people, whoever wins this match not only wins the Mixed Match Challenge, but also a trip of some kind. I don't really get the point of that because this is scripted. And they will also be number 30 in their respective Royal Rumbles.
And Charles, let me just say, I don't know at this point. Like you told me the other day, the previous number 30s have always been someone with good standing in the WWE.
Yeah, that's usually how number 30s and Royal Rumbles work. It doesn't need to exactly be one of the main stars, like exactly one of the main ones, but it's
someone well representative.
Yeah, like it can't be someone who's just someone who's at least not a jobber of any kind, pretty much. Can be number 30, but
I mean, going back from 2014, number 30, Rey Mysterio. Iconic WWE superstar. In 15, Dolph Ziggler. In 16, Triple H. In 2017, Roman Reigns. 2018, females was Trish Stratus. Dolph Ziggler again.
Yeah.
So it's iconic names in WWE.
That's exactly why I thought Balor and Bayley were going to win the whole thing. Because I could see Balor being number 30 in a Royal Rumble. And Bayley was number 29 in last year, so number 30 is definitely not a stretch for her. But I think it was really,
True.
but I think it was Balor's injury that is the reason why they're not here. I really think if Balor stayed uninjured, him and Bayley would have been here, and not Jinder and Alicia, and they could have won the whole thing. So
speaking of injuries, how many injuries did we have? How many injuries did we fucking have this season?
Yeah, how many replacements do we have? Let me guess. We had. Let me see. We had.
4.
Let me see. Alexa had to be replaced. Strowman had.
No, hold on. Here. Originally, it was Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman. Ember Moon replaced Alexa. Injury 1. Kurt fucking Hawkins replaced Braun Strowman.
That's number 2.
Mickey and Bobby stayed the only one of the only 2 teams on Raw to stay healthy. Apollo Crews replaced Finn Balor.
And that's
3.
And let's also not forget that Jeff Hardy replaced AJ Styles. So okay.
That's 4.
Yeah, that's 4.
Bobby Roode replaced Kevin Owens.
I honestly forgot about that, but okay, yep. So that's.
They were 0-4.
Yeah.
They lost every round robin match.
So in this entire shit show of the Mixed Match Challenge 2, we have a total of 5 fucking replacements. Like, holy shit, this tournament is fucking cursed.
I do have a theory for this, but I'm gonna wait until Charles says his prediction before I say mine.
Okay, so as I said,
wait, hold on, Charles. I have theories for half of these matches, so this is one of the longer prediction videos. So if you haven't, get a nice drink, get some food. You'll be here for a while.
Oh boy, I got like half a bottle of water with me right now. That would be fun. Anyway,
Bottle of Coke.
So anyways, as I said before, number 30 and the number 30s and Royal Rumbles are most of the time people who are at least well into the company, and
well respected.
Yeah. So to put it another way, no way in hell can I really see an R-Truth or Carmella being number 30. But now Jinder, I could not really see either. But at the very least, there was one time where he was basically on top. He had that horrible WWE Championship with him, but that's still something compared to what R-Truth has done. And Alicia Fox, well, I guess maybe she can be number 30 in the Rumble, but I guess that could be a stretch. So, really,
if they're doing this just to make Alicia number 30 for what happened last year when she was unable to compete due to injury, that was just a waste of a year.
I would say so, but
Charles, who do you have for the Mixed Match Challenge?
Going by who I can see mostly as number 30 in the respective Rumbles, Jinder and Alicia is a lot more believable, so my pick is for Team Maha Alicia.
Interesting, we're already starting off with disagreements.
Oh,
Fabulous Truth has my vote, and this is going to happen. Women's Royal Rumble, number 30 dings, R-Truth walks out. Because, you know, R-Truth wants his Women's Championship.
Yeah, because he's confused what gender he is.
I don't know.
He's very confused.
Hey, Charles, that's a separate video. We'll talk about 2018 and being triggered and confusing shit. R-Truth comes in as number 30, shocks everybody. Carmella pops up and just gets everyone out. I'm kidding, that's not going to happen. But R-Truth is going to do some bullshit if he still thinks he's a woman and wants his Women's Championship opportunity. But honestly, I think R-Truth is getting needless to say, R-Truth and Carmella have been working so well together. They're both getting a little bit of a push, more than Jinder and Alicia. Because you think about it, Alicia is pretty much just Alexa's sidekick. Ginger's against Jobber Mahal pretty much recently. Because he, not a jobber, but jobber matches. Because No Way Jose and like no names. R-Truth and Carmella can't really say anything for them because they haven't really been featured in their own matches recently. And don't forget, Carmella has beat Asuka 3 times now.
Oh, Kill me. Kill me.
But ow. I do think R-Truth is more... I see, like Charles said, number 30 is more kind of like a veteran person. Someone who is either well liked in the company or has been there long term per se.
And R-Truth has
R-Truth has been in WWE a lot longer than Jinder Mahal. And plus, R-Truth would add more comedy to the Rumble, I think. Considering we're a month away from the Rumble, I think it's going to be R-Truth and Carmella.
Well, I guess I could see where you're coming from, because yes, as forgettable as it was, people, R-Truth was actually part of the Attitude Era as K-Quick. His character just really kind of wasn't memorable back in the Attitude Era. Like, it didn't last long enough, but, so I could see what you're saying, but sadly, I think Jinder has more success in his career as far as what
I will say Jinder has more success, but I feel like if they go based on talent and depth, R-Truth and Carmella by far.
Alright, that's a good point, but I would still have to stick with my Mahalisha.
And plus, what would you rather have? I'd rather have R-Truth as number 30 because it's a more comedy aspect into it.
I mean, I would compared to Jinder, but realistically, this is.
I don't like Jinder Mahal really. Like,
I really.
Yes, I know he's from my city. He's just does nothing for me. Anyways, before we get too sidetracked from this conversation, next up is the singles match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Why isn't this an stipulation match?
A what match?
A stipulation. Why is it just a singles match? There needs to be something. It's called TLC, and there's literally only there's 2 full TLC matches. 5 total. There's the TLC for next, Baron Braun, which we'll talk about next.
Okay.
The Triple Threat TLC for the Women's Championship. Ladder match for Elias Bobby. Tables match for Natalya and Ruby. And Ray versus Randy in a chairs match, so 5.
Well, I think they could make this another TLC match, like the third one of the night. They can have room for this, but
they need to. That's how you make this interesting, because a lot of these brand name pay-per-views have been like, really? The thing you see on screen right now is pretty much how this latter half of the year pay-per-views have been. These big pay-per-views, and when it comes down to it, it's just like, really? 2 matches? Okay.
I would be fine if, you know, there's a pay-per-view that is centered around a special stipulation match, like Hell in a Cell, for example. I would be okay if there was I would have been okay if there was only 2 of that special stipulation, but it's kind of like who they pick to be in the special stipulation. Like, what 2 matches?
Exactly. Elias and Bobby, and I will go into this later. That should just be a singles match. It should not be a ladder match.
That I can agree. I'm like, if you're gonna have only 2 special stipulation matches, at least make both of them be one of the very big ones.
The Intercontinental Championship one and the Triple Threat TLC for the Women's Championship needs to be.
I agree. I mean, I think Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose should have obviously been at least another TLC match, but I guess we haven't gotten to who we think is going to win yet. So I think I really want to see Dean Ambrose really pushing as his new heel turn as fast as they could be, because I think they really want to push this as much as they can when they can. So I think even if it's still early in the rivalry, I think Dean Ambrose might actually take his spell early. So my pick is for Dean Ambrose for this one.
My pick is also for Dean, but for a different reason.
Alright, what's your different...
This is going to go back until Crown Jewel.
Now that we're going to have to find somebody who wants to be the face of Raw, of course they have to find them right now. And I think if we had to pick which one of these 2 will be the face of Raw until Roman, if he ever comes back, well, just look at these 2 and who's been here longer and has been more accomplished in this business.
As you heard Charles say, they're looking for a new face of Raw. And because Roman was the prior Universal Championship. champion. He was in a championship. They're like, Raw's looking for a better Universal Champion, so why not give that opportunity to Seth for some reason? And it all could start here with him dropping the title to Dean. So if Seth gets a mini championship run, even though I don't think that's going to happen, or even like he's going to get a small feud with Brock, somehow give up or something, some shit like that's going to happen. But I think he's going to drop his Dean because, think about it, the IC title is irrelevant right now. It hasn't really been defended much. Or my bad, it's been Seth versus Dolph 1, Seth versus Dolph 2, Seth versus Dolph 826,291.
And Seth Rollins as of recently last Monday Night Raw. But
that was 8,291. I mean, we see the same matches over and over. They cannot have picked somebody else. Anyways, I have Dean for this, and Charles also has Dean.
Yeah, I can also give you a theory that they probably do want to make Seth the face of Raw and become the Universal Champion. I have a different
theory for that. Like, I have theories for how these matches, and I'll explain it when we get to that match. What I legitimately think the real theory is going to be. Next up, Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin. And this is one of the greatest stipulation ones.
If Strowman wins, he will receive a Universal Championship match at the Royal Rumble, and Corbin will be stripped of all authoritative... I cannot say that because I'm a fucking idiot.
Authoritative power.
Authoritative power.
And if Corbin wins, if Strowman wins, Strowman will receive a Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble, and Corbin will be stripped of all authoritative power. But if Corbin wins, he'll just become the full-time general manager of Raw. But think about it, this match might not happen. Here, I have this theory for this match.
Okay, what is the theory?
Are you ready for this?
I am ready to hear your mind-exploding theory.
Corbin is going to go to the ring first. Strowman's going to come to the ring second. Nothing happens. Heath Slater as the referee is going to count to 10. When he gets to a certain number, Rhino's going to come out and challenge Corbin for a job. And if Rhino wins, he'll be reinstated as a participant of Raw, and Slater will be Heath and Rhino will become actual wrestlers, and Heath will get removed from the referee roster and be known as a wrestler again. But if Corbin wins, he'll become the full-time general manager of Raw. Because he could not have just made that match without something going to happen in the future. And if Strowman's out of the match, Rhino could come along and say, I want my job back, and I'll fight you for it.
Well, then again, there has to be somebody to have Rhino make the match official. And if I would say Heath
Slater's in the ring, Slater will be the referee for that match.
Yeah, I guess so. But the best way I could see is that...
And Corbin's been a cocky fucking prick. He'll say, sure, I'll agree. And obviously, if this match does not happen, if it's Braun and Corbin are completely erased, this match will be scrapped. But if it's Baron and Rhino, as my theory is, it will happen. So I don't know how we're going to mark this, if this match is even going to happen right now. So Charles, what do you think this match is going to be, or what do you think the result will be?
Well, I know about your theory about, it possibly being Rhino versus Corbin. At the same time, there needs to be someone who can officially make that match. It can't just happen straight off the fly, like.
But I said Corbin's a cocky prick and will make it because Corbin's the authority of Raw technically right now. He'll make it the match because he's a cocky prick and thinks it'll boost him up.
Oh, it does make sense. But what I've been thinking is that Braun Strowman would win the match. Either way, because I think Strowman is returning and will be beating Baron Corbin. Let's just make that as my prediction for now. And since Baron is now officially out of the job of being the full-time general manager and is stripped off his authoritative power, that's when Kurt Angle will come to the scene after the match and being like, since now I have full authority, I'm gonna make one more match tonight. And that's when Rhino comes in and will be like, Rhino will be in this, our main event will be Rhino versus
It won't be the main event. Rhino and Corbin in the main event will not happen. I'll say that right now.
Yeah, well, like, Kurt will come out and have Rhino come out to face Baron Corbin with the same stipulation as you said, with Heath as the special guest referee. And that will be one of course.
Slater won't be the special guest referee. Slater will be the referee because he's a referee now.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, if that does happen, that's the way I don't really see that happening, but if it does happen, that's the way I want him.
Okay, so this is kind of like a iffy match right now. If it's Braun versus Baron, we'll have this two ways. We'll have Braun versus Baron, and Baron versus Rhino if it is that way. Because we both agree it's going to be Baron versus Rhino at TLC as well, correct?
I do know it's going to be Baron versus Braun, but Rhino versus Baron is what I'm not too sure about that, really.
But if you want to make that, well, here, because I also do think it could be Braun versus Baron. But if we both kind of think it's going to be Rhino and Corbin, why not make that as a backup?
I guess, but I guess
my view for Baron versus Braun, because I'm in the same boat as Charles. Like, Braun will beat Baron, get his Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble, and Corbin will be stripped of power. And I agree with what Charles said. Like, Angle will come out and say, "Hey, Corbin, you're not done yet. This guy, I have somebody in the back that wants to have a word with you in a match," and that match starts right now. Oh, and also here's the guest referee, or here's the referee for the match. So pretty much we both say Braun and Rhino in a way.
Pretty much in both matches, Baron's going to fucking lose against the other guy. So. Yeah.
So it's harder to. Charles will have it worked out on the screen of how we're gonna break it down, but pretty much is we both say Braun's gonna beat Baron if that match happens. If it doesn't completely, we both say Rhino's gonna beat Baron. If both happen, well, I don't know how we're gonna mark it. We'll find out later. But next up, Rowdy Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax. Kill me now.
Oh boy, I'm just gonna be honest, okay, with you, dude. I actually cannot wait for this one because
I just hate Ronda Rousey.
Well, I'm just saying, this is why I'm so excited about it. Just hear me out, okay? Because more than likely, I have to work on the day TLC comes out. And on the day TLC comes out, I'll be working on the morning shift.
Traveling that day.
And when I'm during the morning shift, I'm going to be so tired, I'm not sure if I'll stay up for TLC. And then this match will come up, and that's when I know I could take at least a 20-minute nap, so I can wake up before the next match and enjoy the rest of the show. I pretty much have my nap. This match is pretty much my nap break. So thank you, match, for existing for me to fall asleep, so I can catch up for the rest of the show I'm interested in. Like, I'm interested in every other match in small ways. Yes, even the Elias and Bobby one, but this one is just, I don't know. I think the problem with Ronda Rousey, okay, the only time where I think they actually made her act like a human is at WrestleMania, because she showed that she was strong and tough and honestly kind of badass, because that was a surprisingly better match than I expected, because she showed that she was strong, but she wasn't perfect. She got in trouble a few times during the match, but then after that, they turned her to pretty much like an almost unstoppable beast of a woman that can almost never be touched, and honestly, that gets kind of bland eventually. So that's what I'm saying. But regardless, Ronda Rousey is not going to lose to any other normal match. So this is including the one with Nia Jax. So I think you know what.
I hate Ronda. Oh.
I
hate Ronda, not gonna mention. I just think she's gonna retain, unfortunately.
She's gonna retain too, because really this is not one you even have to think of. It's Ronda Rousey versus Nia. Quite obvious.
Next up, the fickle Daniel Bryan.
Fickle.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, I went to a house show Sunday night, and he just yelled fickle for 5 minutes at us. And also, fun fact, he got mad at me.
Fantastic.
Because someone said something, and he said, "No, I'm better than The Miz." And I yelled, "No, you're not." He looks at me, points to me, and says, "Watch it," and says, "Watch it."
Dude, that's awesome.
And then Miz looked at me and said, "Hey, Daniel, he knows what he's talking about." So at least both of them kind of acknowledged I was there, because I was loud as hell.
So both,
but yeah, that was fun for me.
So both.
I made Daniel Bryan hate me. I made The Miz like me, and I actually hate. If you don't know, I hate The Miz. It was kind of funny for me to cheer for him, and then actually to respond to me in a positive way.
That has to be the funniest thing I have heard.
Anyways,
recently.
For the match itself, I honestly don't know this match. Like, I don't know how I want this match to go. I just think Daniel Bryan's going to retain.
I think this might be a little bit of the hard calling ones because I still kind of am a bit salty that Daniel Bryan pretty much ruined my prediction by one kick to AJ's dick, and then ruined my whole
that was
prediction.
fun.
Yeah, then ruined my I still a bit salty that ruined my entire prediction I've been going on for months that AJ is going to be Punk's record, and I was.
I know, that was awesome. I'm glad it didn't work.
As a matter of fact, if AJ was still champion to this day, we would have just had a few more weeks away till that actually happens, and it just gets taken away at the last 2 months, just like that. But anyways, besides my saltiness, and the very fact that I'm still crying to myself to sleep because of this, I'm going to give it to Daniel. I think, in a way, AJ is going to compete in the Royal Rumble. I'm not saying I think AJ will win the Rumble, but I think he's going to have his own story to where he will revenge in some way, and him and Daniel will have a match for the WWE Champion at the upcoming WrestleMania. So until then,
that's very interesting because I have a different theory for the Royal Rumble, which I'll talk about at that point, like I said.
So I would give this to Daniel Bryan. I'm not sure how he will win, but that's what I'm saying.
We're both saying Daniel, though.
Yeah.
Next up is the Triple Threat Tables, Ladders, and Chairs match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and thank God this is a TLC match. This is one of the very few matches that needs to be a fucking TLC match.
And unlike the last women's match we were talking about just a few minutes ago, this will be the one that I would not want to take a nap for, because this is actually fucking exciting.
We have the Man versus the Queen versus the Empress.
Oh man, I can remember the whole thing about Becky being the Man and how a lot of people are triggered over something that is not even a figure of speech, and Becky's not even referring to herself as a man, it's just a figure of speech. And but you know, this is the year of 2018, so why should I even be this surprised?
Fun fact about the year of 2018, on Twitter today they had described 2018 in 5 words, and I responded on that with, everyone is offended by everything. That's not a joke. This is a year that everyone's offended by fuck all. Fuck everything, I should say, because fuck all means nothing.
Here's the strange thing that interests me about this match, okay? This would have been just fine with Becky and Charlotte alone, honestly. But then we have...
At least Asuka's in the matches, at least, because Asuka's been getting shafted for the last, 8 months? Ever since WrestleMania, she's been shafted so hard.
That is true. She has been treated very poorly.
Will Asuka shine here? As a competitor, yes. Will she go in as champion? Fuck no.
Especially when there's an awkward third wheel in a match between 2 people in a rivalry, and then we have this third person who is not even part of the rivalry, but is somehow in this match. There's something up here, because this would not happen.
Oh, fuck up. Don't you fucking... Don't. Shut the fuck up.
But now I'm gonna have a bold prediction about this, and don't shoot me, but I think Charlotte is going to win this match.
Absolutely
wrong.
I'm not shutting
Shut
the fuck up.
Fuck up.
I'm not shutting the fuck up. You really wanna know what? Think of it like this, okay? There was a rivalry between Becky.
No.
Shut the fuck up. Let me tell. Okay. Back in SummerSlam.
Don't you dare. Don't.
Back in SummerSlam, okay, there was a rivalry between Becky Lynch and Carmella. And however...
Fuck off, I know what you're gonna say!
However, Charlotte was the awkward third wheel in that match. And who won that match in SummerSlam?
Charlotte.
And who's the awkward third wheel of this match?
Asuka. Yes, Charles, I understand that. That fucked me over too. I hated that.
And as I said, I think this is leading to something. They would not put Asuka in this match unless they were planning on doing something. Like they did with... Think about it, after Charlotte won, they planned something with her they let her have a rivalry with Becky Lynch when, like, Becky turned heel.
But Charlotte gets everything handed to her on a silver platter because of her daddy.
But still, she had something coming to her when she was in that. And then Becky turned heel. Becky became champion. Now, I'm not saying I'm not too sure about how this is going to work if Asuka wins, but something is. So, for me, I'm going with Asuka.
I don't think it's going to be Asuka. Asuka had that one Battle Royale victory, but it's been ever since WrestleMania, she's been looked down upon.
That is true, but maybe this would be a big break.
When Charlotte got inserted into SummerSlam, at least she was doing something in WWE and not losing every other match. I'm going to say Becky's retaining here.
That would be my
and
second
if Becky's
guess.
not cleared, I'm going to say Asuka.
Becky is my second choice, but my first choice is definitely, like, there really is to be, like, no reason at all they should have a third person in this match unless they're planning on something to do with that third person. And it's not.
I'm saying Becky if she's in the match. If she's not, if it's just Charlotte versus Asuka for the championship, I'm saying Asuka. But if it's all three still, Becky.
I'm giving it to Asuka regardless. So.
Yeah, because you're not picking Becky originally. Next up, Finn Balor versus the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre. And this is where I'm going to interrupt Charles and go on another little rant, or what I think a theory. Flashback to Braun Baron earlier in the video. Braun's going to beat Strowman if that happens. Braun wins the Universal Championship at Royal Rumble, and getting rid of Brock entirely in WWE, in him focusing on MMA for a little bit. Wherever Drew McIntyre enters, McIntyre wins the Rumble, challenges Braun for the Universal Championship. WrestleMania, Braun versus Drew. Drew wins. Drew wins this match to build him up as a big, strong. You can admit Drew's built to succeed now. Since he got fired from WWE back in whenever the three-man band was a thing, Drew improved his skills a hell of a lot.
I have not seen Drew in his first run, honestly, but I have heard.
Oh God! Three-man. You know who the three-man band was, right?
Yeah, I remember that was Heath, Jinder, and Drew.
Yeah.
I'll remember about
but
that.
I think Drew is going to win this match just to get his reputation built more towards the Rumble, because the Rumble happens like in what, a month and a bit.
Yeah.
So.
But as for me, I do agree that I think Drew is winning, but that's because I think he is getting pushed as being one of the main stars. Finn still is, like, they're trying, but not nearly as much as they're trying to do with Drew right now. Like, Drew is being pushed to the moon ever since he came back, because, as a matter of fact, ever since he came to the main roster, he only lost in 2 matches. The first one being with Dolph Ziggler losing the tag team titles against Seth and Dean. Well, yeah, technically it was still Seth and Dean. And then a couple weeks ago against Dolph. But other than that, he either pretty much won every single match he's in. So, I think they still want to build him up strong. So, as much as I love Balor, I think they're going to give McIntyre the win over him.
Next up, Elias versus Bobby Lashley in a ladder match. With a guitar suspended above the ring, and the first person to grab it gets to use it as a weapon. Why the fuck is this a ladder match?
I don't know. I guess it could still win by. Well, a guitar will be suspended above the ring, and the first to retrieve it can use it. They said they could use it as a weapon. That doesn't necessarily mean they win the match. So, I think.
True.
So I think in a way this is still a singles one-on-one match, and I think.
But I mean, why do they need to have something suspended above the ring?
And the latter part of it seems for the most part like optional. So.
True.
But in other words, now as much as I did say, there is a little bit something interesting about this match, but honestly, I think this does feel like kind of like a throwaway match, kind of like a match just to exist to fill up the card. even more than it already fucking is. So
to fill up the fucking card, it's already fucking 12 matches long.
I know. Trust me, I know. So without really any fury, I think just like Drew, they want to build Bobby as an incredibly strong man, like they have been doing ever since he came back. So I'm gonna give this one to Lashley.
I don't care if this happens. I'm just, my gut's telling me Elias, but my brain's saying go with Lashley. So I'm gonna go with Lashley.
Alright. Lashley, alright.
Like Charles said, this is gonna be a throwaway match.
Like, I don't really think there's anything really special about this match to talk about except saying, oh, who I think is going to win, and stipulation that it's a ladder match, so.
Next up, a triple threat tag team match for the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Why the fuck isn't this a TLC match?
Now, I think if this
needs to be a TLC match. Because triple threat tag team matches were the main concept behind TLC.
Yeah, fun fact, the very first, I would say, 2 or 3, actually the first 3 TLC matches were between the same 3 teams. The Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardys. So I think having this to also be this could be a good little callback. Granted, these wrestlers are nothing like the other 3, but I'm saying having a triple threat TLC match would just be a nice little nod for how the match started off with. I think this match, Baron and Braun, Seth and Dean, and of course the triple threat women's match should have all been TLC matches. But this one, if this was a TLC match, oh boy, would that be exciting as hell to watch.
And if you guys don't know, this is against The Bar, who are the current tag team champions, versus the New Day versus the Usos. So Charles, who do you have winning this match?
This has been a good mini rivalry between these 3 teams altogether. Like, really, these are like the only 3 teams SmackDown cared about, because there sure isn't a total sanity team in the background they could have also used. You know, not at all. But other than that, I would just have to simply just give this one to The Bar. Really no reason why, I just have this feeling that they're just going to retain. Because I don't think there's really any point of the New Day or the Usos having the tag team champions. And while The Bar are doing much better than they were on the past few months with SmackDown, they still need somewhat of a push in the tag team division, on SmackDown at least, because they've been kind of in the background until they won these belts. So I'm going to give this one to The Bar.
Interesting. And we disagree on this match.
Motherfucker, really?
Yes.
Motherfucker,
I don't think the New Day are going to win. I actually think the Usos have it in them to be the new tag team champions. I see the Usos becoming the new tag team champions.
And I see The Bar. I have a feeling like, you know, the other 2 teams really don't have a point of being champions again. And The Bar has just now, like for the past month, been becoming, or finally being used, when the past 2 months before that they were not. So I think they need this more than the other 2 right now. So, The Bar for me.
You say Bar, I say Usos.
Yep. When I say Bar, you say Usos. No, I'm not sorry, man.
No, go on. I'll do it.
Okay. Bar
are going to lose on Sunday at TLC. I mean, Usos.
What the fuck?
Next up, I don't even want to talk about this match.
This is...
Hold on, let me crack a beer open for this match.
This is actually a very good idea of a match. It's just the controversy behind it that happened this past
The controversy behind this match? You mean the controversy behind this fucking rivalry?
Pretty much, yeah, because people have been really getting so overworked over a bunch of heel stuff that Ruby Riott has been doing against her dead father. Yeah.
Natalia's dead father. Yeah. Normally, I'm okay with this shit. I would be okay with it, to be honest. But the fact they've drawn this out over what feels like ages just annoys the fuck out of me.
this all started when Ruby Riott broke a pair of fake glasses that were not even Jim Neidhart's real glasses, and yet people still want to freak out over that. And then...
Well, it didn't even start then. It started back in August when he died.
Yeah, I guess. I don't remember when it did started, but I think that's when the flames really start brewing in, you know? But then the flame...
Exactly.
But then the small flame turned into a wildfire when, on the past Monday Night Raw, Ruby Riott told Natalya that she was going to put her through a very certain table. What certain table?
That kind of drew the line for me, to be honest. That was kind of...
I'm not sure this was because it is... I don't think they would just say, okay, Natalya and Ruby, this is what you're gonna do. I don't care what you say, go out and do it. I think this is the kind of thing where they actually need to get Natalya's permission to do it.
Which, good honor for allowing it to happen, but to this extent, God, oh God, why?
I think this is honestly really good heel stuff for Ruby. Like, this is the kind of thing that will give her heat like she is supposed to be as a heel. It might have drawn the line, but that's what makes it a good moment to me, because it drew a line to really get this rivalry started to get heated up. So I'm a little bit indifferent for this.
I honestly have a decent prediction for this, but at the same time, I'm just glad this rivalry is going to finally be fucking over. But Charles, who do you have winning the match?
Honestly, I think I would have said Ruby if it wasn't for the table thing. I think that's because when she said that she's gonna put her through this certain table so her father could be closer, I'm like, yeah, that's a dead giveaway, because no way they're gonna make her do that to Natalya. So, if they did not say that at all, I think it would have been Ruby, but that moment made me change my mind, thinking, I don't think that table's going to be broken. Like, neither of them's going to be broken through a table, and Ruby seems dedicated to make sure Natalya goes through that table specifically. So, I would have to give this to Natalya, because there's just so many things I don't think they're going to make Natalya actually do, regardless. So, Natalya is my...
Interesting. I don't have Natalya. As you see, this is a singles match, and not a tag team match. If it was the Riot Squad versus Natalya and two other people, I would probably lean in favor of towards Natalya's side. But the fact it's a singles match, I honestly think that this is the start of Ruby's push. Or give a slow push to her.
I think...
So, for this match, I'm honestly going to say Ruby Riott.
I think this match, either way, is the start of her small push. Like, I don't think this rivalry is over just yet. I'm thinking Ruby is going to lose the first of the rivalry, but she might win more often. But as I said, I don't think, unless Ruby decides not to put her through that Jim Neidhart table and actually wants to win the match, then probably. But Ruby seems dedicated to make sure she gets under Natalya's skin, but making her go through that specific table.
No, it's gonna be the very first table she pulls out, and it's gonna be like 1, 2, 3 there.
Probably.
Anyways, next up, Buddy Murphy versus Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight Champion. I have not watched 205 live, so let's quickly do this one, Charles, because I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm gonna give this to Buddy Murphy. He just recently had a heel run, and so far it's going pretty good. They want to keep that strong and ongoing. Cedric Alexander's already been champion. He doesn't need it. My prediction, Buddy Murphy.
Perfect. Buddy Murphy is my pick too, for no reason besides I don't see a lot of these championships retain. I think we moved like 2 championships this match. Or I've moved 2. You've moved 2.
Yeah, I think, yeah, only 2 title changes have I predicted so far, but...
Because you said Dean and...
Asuka.
I said Dean and Usos.
Yeah.
Next up, in the final match on the card, finally, Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton.
No.
I'm just going to say right now, I think Rey's going to get his revenge on Randy right here, so my pick's Rey.
Now, this would be an interesting one because this has been a very heated rivalry as of late. Because as of now, Manny has been much more savage than he has been in the past few years. I mean like absolutely vicious, sickening, almost like serial killer like he's been like an absolute, pretty much fucking asshole. And I mean, he kind of always was an asshole, but really been pushing it with how much he's been trying to really hurt people. And oh my god, I love it. I love this new one. But anyways, I think Ray is too much of a beloved hero to many people because Ray is one of the most beloved wrestlers of all time. It doesn't mean that I think every time he goes against a heel, he will win. But I think this is the kind of thing where people would love to see Ray to win. And I think WWE loves Rey Mysterio too so much. They might want to see that they want to see him actually win this match. So my pick is for Mysterio for this one.
Awesome. Those are our predictions for this video.
Man, this has been a very, very long-ass prediction, more than I think it should have been.
Sorry, I had a lot of shit to say about certain matches. Tune in next time, which will be January 22nd.
Oh boy, at least we can finally actually have like kind of like a month break away from this thing. Hallelujah. Especially since there was one time I felt like I did at least 3 in fucking
January 27th, my bad.
Yeah, because there was like this one time where I think I did like 2 or 3 in the same fucking week. Like in 2 weeks actually. So it's nice to have somewhat of a small break, honestly. So I'm happy about that.
That's gonna be nice.
Yeah. Alright.
But yeah, next time at the Royal Rumble, which will have new rules in place.
One of the biggest and most popular pay-per-views of the entire industry of professional wrestling, because this is where the road to WrestleMania starts, and even the people who said they quit watching WWE will slowly come back to see what happens during WrestleMania season. So this should be an interesting start to the road to WrestleMania.
It will be, so join us then.
Alright, until next time, we'll see you in a month for Royal Rumble. I'm Charles.
And stay classy, YouTube.